Hello, this is Nate. This is the Daihon Nashi Eikaiwa Lesson Podcast, and today it's going to be an English-only episode. So if you want to practice your English listening, this is a great place to do it. Hopefully I'll use some new words and phrases so you can improve your vocabulary, and also you can try to catch some different grammar and ideas about America, so you can learn a lot of things from listening to this podcast, especially this all-English episode. So, as always, announcements. Well, the most important thing, follow us on social media. That means Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. On Instagram, that's where Sota and I are really posting a lot. I did a live Instagram from my kitchen, so I hope everyone saw that. It's gone now. The lives only last for 24 hours, but hopefully everyone could enjoy that and you could understand a little bit more about what is the American kitchen like. Anyways, that's on Instagram, so please follow me on Instagram. Also, Sota is Eigo no Sota. And for the Daihon Nashi pages, you can go to our Facebook and to our Twitter. And Twitter, as always, that's where we get your ideas, so that's the hashtag Daihon Nashi Eikaiwa Lesson. And you can ask us to do a topic or comment on an episode there. Okay, let's get started with this episode. Okay, so this is going to be a quick one. I always say it's going to be quick, and I talk for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But I think this one's going to be a little quick because I got a busy day today. Truthfully, it is my second to last day in America. So I came to America for my grandma's birthday and my friend's wedding. And those are over. My trip's almost over. I'm going back to Japan very soon, tomorrow. I have to wake up at 6 a.m., get to the airport, and fly back to Japan. So I'm going to do a quick recap of my trip so far, and I'll tell you some things that were different between Japan and America that I noticed on this trip. Let's get started. Okay, so I came back to America, I think it was September 20th or something like that. It seems like a long time ago, but that was back in September that I came to America. And I went to my grandma's birthday, which was really fun. It was a blast, actually. It was really, really fun. All of my relatives came. It was like probably 30 people or something. Lots of cousins kids. And we met on Friday, and then Saturday was the birthday, and my mom had rented this kind of like party room at a resort hotel where we could sing, eat cake, eat food. We did s'mores. So s'mores, I've talked about this a lot, but we roasted marshmallows over the fire and made the marshmallow chocolate sandwiches. They're called s'mores. So anyway, that was a blast. That was really fun. So we spent 3 days in that resort hotel just celebrating my grandma and her 80th birthday. One thing I noticed, I don't know if this is a difference between Japan and America, but I was definitely a little surprised, was the kids. So in America, there's a popular game now. It's called Fortnite. I don't know if this is popular in Japan too, but I think it's popular in the world, not only in America. But the kids just loved this game, Fortnite. And in the game, there are these weird dances. And so during the party, all of the kids wanted to show us these dances from this game. And so they would be doing this dance, and all the parents would be laughing and just, I don't even know why does the game have dancing? I don't understand. It's like a battle royale game. So basically you have 100 people and you get dropped onto an island, and then you have to kill all the other people on the island in this video game. But I guess they have dancing, like the characters have a dance or something. Anyways, I was surprised that kids in America nowadays, they like this game Fortnite, but also it's not only like a video game, like they're not just on their computer playing the game, but they're also doing something, dancing. Like they do a dance because of the video game. It's kind of hard to imagine. Usually video games are for people who are kind of shy, who don't like dancing, but maybe this is a new generation of kids who they're so connected to computers and social media and games that it's a part of their life. So they're not just like trying to escape and play video games. That's just their life. So now they're using this dance, they're talking about the game, they're like playing the game not only on the video game, but they're talking about it and stuff. So I thought that was interesting. I'm not sure if that's different from Japan. I don't know what game is popular for younger kids in Japan. I would guess like Pocket Monster or something. I don't even know if that's a game. Anyways, do you guys know what's the popular video game for kids in Japan these days? I'm not really sure, but in America it's called Fortnite. I think it's Fortnite. Have you guys played that game? That would be kind of interesting too. Okay, so that was my grandma's birthday, and that's one kind of interesting point about America is the kids are playing this game and they're doing this dance from the game and they're having a lot of fun. Okay, so now I want to skip to my nephew's birthday. So my nephew, his name is Eddie, he turned 2 years old while I was in America. So on, I think it was September 30th. I think it was the 30th. It might have been the 29th or something. But we had his second birthday. And a lot of people came up to a park. And we had a kind of picnic-style birthday party for Eddie for his second birthday. So we showed up at this park in my hometown. And my sister brought lots of food and snacks and stuff. And a lot of kids, like cousins and Eddie's new friends at his preschool and other family friends came up. And we had a kind of outside picnic style party for Eddie's second birthday. That was also a lot of fun. For me, it was really cool because I got to see some of my different cousins. So for my grandma's birthday, that's my mom's side. So my mom's mom, that's the grandma who had her 80th birthday. But for Eddie's birthday, I got to see all sides of the family. So I could see my dad's brother's side. So in this case, it was my dad's brother's son's family. It's kind of complicated. It's my cousin's family, but it's on my dad's side. So I hadn't seen him and his kids. He has 2 kids now. I hadn't seen them for, I don't know how long, maybe 5 years or something. So it was really cool to see him. And my cousin's kid, he was really big and strong and kind of like an sports, like outdoorman kind of kid. Like he's not that old yet. I think he's like 7 or something. But it's funny because my cousin, he's a kind of nerd. N-E-R-D, nerd. When he was a kid, he just played video games and he really liked Star Wars and he didn't go out too much. But now he has a kid who is like this like sports, like outgoing kind of guy. So it's kind of the opposite. So that was cool to meet, or not meet. I met him before, but he was really young. To get to play with and talk to my cousin's kid who I hadn't seen for a long time. At this party, I think one of the differences between America and Japan is maybe how you celebrate parties, what you do for parties. So in America, it's popular to go outside and have an outside park party. And in this case, my sister she got her husband to, go to the park early. And then I met him and we saved a spot in a picnic area of the park. So we didn't reserve anything. We just went up there early. We kept the spot. And then around, I think it was 11 when the party started. So we had to save the spot from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. And then people started coming, they started playing games, eating food, stuff like that. So I think one difference between America and Japan could be that, I don't know, for a second birthday party, what do? Do you go outside to a park and invite your friends and family and eat snacks and cake and, sing happy birthday? Do you do that kind of stuff in Japan? I really don't know. In the park, I've never seen someone have a birthday in Japan. It's probably possible. What do you do? I'm not really sure, actually. I've never been invited to a kid's birthday in Japan. I guess I just don't have any people that I know that I would be invited to a birthday party. But I'm sure it's possible that would happen. One funny thing that happened was when we were singing Happy Birthday to Eddie, he's my 2-year-old nephew, he started crying right when we were singing the birthday song. So you're like, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Eddie. When everyone said Eddie at the same time, he started crying. Right when we said Eddie, I think he realized that everyone was talking about him. He noticed that everyone's focus was on him. And he just started crying. It was so funny. He was such a good boy and, just playing, having fun for the whole party, except when we were singing the birthday and we said Eddie. And then he started crying. So eventually he got better and he could eat his cake, but a few minutes he was crying, and my sister, so his mom, was trying to help him and stuff. And finally, someone was able to feed him some cake, and he smiled and laughed again, so it was okay. But it was really funny that he was happy and friendly and having fun for the whole party, except when we sang him happy birthday, he started crying. Ooh, I know another thing, the cake. So eating that cake, I've noticed that, Japanese people always tell me that, American sweets they're so sweet. It's too sweet. Yes, that's true. American cakes have frosting that is really sweet. I don't know why we make it so sweet compared to Japanese cake frosting. Frosting is frosting. It's like the kind of sugar on top of the cake, the soft sugar on top of the cake. I really noticed now since I went to Japan, I came back to America, that frosting in America is just pure sugar. Not so much cream or fluff, it's just sugar. In Japan, it's much more mild, not as strong of a sugar taste. So that was another difference that I noticed in America. Okay, finally, getting to my friend's wedding. So, there's so many differences between... Oh no, first of all, how was the wedding? Well, it was really fun. We drove from the coast of California, where my hometown is, Santa Cruz. We drove 3 hours across California to the mountains in California, and his wedding was in a kind of like a national park area, but there was a kind of hotel. It was like a house in the forest surrounded by rivers and like paths, and there was a place to have a wedding, but it wasn't like a formal hotel. It was more like a kind of house in the forest. And so we drove out there, and the first day we were hanging out and playing games. It was a Friday. And then Saturday was the wedding. So we were helping to prepare, moving things around, getting the drinks ready. So we were kind of helping a little bit. And then at 4 p.m. on Saturday, the real wedding started. There was the ceremony. And one thing, I don't know if you do this in Japan, but you have to say your vows. Vow is V-O-W. So a vow is what you say to your bride or your groom. Groom is G-R-O-O-M. That's the man who's getting married. So a vow is what you say to your future husband, your future wife, during the ceremony of the wedding. In American weddings, sometimes they write their own vows. That means they write down on a paper what they want to say to their bride or groom during the wedding, during the ceremony, and then they read it or they say it out loud before they officially get married. I don't know what you do in Japan. I don't know if you say something that you wrote during the ceremony, but in America, it's very common to write your own vows. I think people who are they follow the strict kind of wedding style, like more religious people. They might use, for the vows, they might use a Bible, something from the Bible, or they might follow what is recommended for them to say, so something more official. But I think it's also pretty common to write your own. It's like a kind of speech during the ceremony of the wedding, saying how much you love the person and why you love them, and saying you'll be with them for the rest of their life. So that's one interesting difference between American and Japanese weddings. Actually, I don't know if it's a difference because I'm not sure if Japanese people do that or not, but I'd like to hear your guys' feedback on that. So all in all, the wedding was really amazing. I loved it because it was out in the forest. So, of course, we ate dinner, we had the speeches, we had the ceremony. It was like a kind of normal kind of area, but it was outside. There was no building. And at one point, it did even rain for about 10 or 15 minutes. It started raining. So everyone had to run inside and kind of hide out in the house, waiting for the rain to stop. And so there was 100 people who they were not planning to go into the house because the house is maybe a 5-bedroom house. So it's a big house, but 100 people jumping into the house all of a sudden was kind of surprising. But we had to get out of the rain. But what I want to say is that having an outside wedding in nature was really nice. You can look up and see the stars, and we had music. So that's one big difference from America and Japan is the music, the dancing part of the party. So in America, usually the wedding ceremony is about an hour, and then dinner and speeches are about 2 hours, and then the rest of the party is like a dance. So I think from about, 7 or 8 p.m. until, people go to sleep, there's, in this case, there was a DJ playing music, and people are dancing. Of course, there's the first dance, which is the bride and the groom. They do their dance, and then everyone can go on and dance. As for me, I don't like dancing, but when my friend gets married, I have to try to dance a little bit. But I usually just stay on the dance floor for a few songs, and then I go around and start talking to people and, maybe sit down, have a drink. I don't, stay on the dance floor for the whole night. That's not for me. But I tried this time to dance a little bit more. Okay, guys, that was my update. I told you it was going to be quick, and of course it was not. It was about 20 minutes. So that was just one little part of my trip. I couldn't talk about the details too much. So hopefully in the future on, videos and future podcasts, I can talk more details about it. But let me recap real quick. So I talked about my grandma's birthday. And one interesting thing was the children were playing this game and they were doing this dance. It was called the Fortnite and Fortnite dances. Second thing was my nephew Eddie's birthday. The interesting thing was we have the outside party for a birthday, and also the cake was much sweeter, much different from Japanese cake. And the last thing was my friend's wedding, and the difference was the bride and the groom saying their own vows during the ceremony, and also having an outside wedding and having dancing. And there's a lot of differences between American and Japanese weddings, I think. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. It's been a long time since I've recorded, so, it feels a little bit strange to get back in front of the microphone. So I hope you could understand my English, and in the future, hopefully, I can talk more and more about my trip and the differences between America and Japan. All right, guys, remember to follow Daihon Nashi on Twitter and Facebook, and also to follow Sota and I on Instagram. So on this podcast's episode, just scroll down and you can find the links for our social medias there. All right, guys, I'll see you back in Japan. I'm looking forward to getting back. Today, I have to buy souvenirs. That's right, SOUVENIRS, souvenirs. What should I get Sota? I still haven't decided. Maybe I'll get him some weird candy, some really sweet candy. Maybe some, interesting clothes, like something that reminds me of Santa Cruz, anyways, I'm thinking about what I should get for Sota for a souvenir today. It's going to be fun. All right, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.